Good evening. I'm Susan Sherwood, Vice Chair of the Pennsylvania Humanities Council. On behalf of Chair Nancy Eaton and our entire board, we are delighted to welcome you to the inaugural Pennsylvania Humanities Awards. We have some special guests joining us. From the Corbett administration, of course, Pennsylvania First Lady Susan Corbett, Cabinet Secretaries Carol Hachel, Kelly Logan, Sherry Phillips, Acting Secretary Ellen Ferretti, and Deputy Secretary Janet Anderson. From the legislature, Senator Scott Hutchinson, Representatives Fred Keller and Vanessa Laurie Brown, Kyle Mullins representing Senator John Blake. Many, many thanks to our generous sponsors. President and CEO Gary St. Hilaire of Capital Blue Cross, PHC's own Christine Musler of Seton Hill University, Kim Pizengrilli of Buchanan Ingersoll and Rooney, Heidi Hammond Shackley, and Bridget Montgomery of Eckert Siemens, and Dilworth Paxton. Our partners, Heather Dowdy of Pennsylvania Council on the Arts, Beth Hager of the State Museum of Pennsylvania, Paula Gilbert and Janice Stubbs of the Pennsylvania Library Association, Rusty Baker representing Pennsylvania Museums, Rhonda Newton of the Pennsylvania Heritage Foundation, and last but not least, Jenny Hershaw of Citizens for the Arts. History, the arts, literature, philosophy, humanities subjects of study, yes, but so much more. Their real power lies in what they have the power to do within us and between us. The humanities are the poetry of life and the rocky roads of our ancestors. They guide us with the knowledge of yesterday and ideas to face our greatest challenges today. They join us together through the strength of common bonds. They lift us up and inspire us to be better, more thoughtful citizens, critical thinkers who cherish the gifts each of us brings to the community as a whole. Tonight, we celebrate our awardees who champion the humanities. But to the rest of you who have come to support us, you are all champions of the humanities in our eyes. Thank you, and please give a warm welcome to Lori Zierer, the Executive Director of the Pennsylvania Humanities Council.
Susan, thank you so much for that warm welcome. It's such a pleasure for the Pennsylvania Humanities Council to be here in the State House main rotunda. In Pennsylvania, truly a treasure, architecturally, we wouldn't want to be anywhere else to celebrate and honor and recognize 4 outstanding individuals who have advocated, supported, and advanced the humanities throughout the Commonwealth. They are our champions for the humanities in Pennsylvania. We're honored to be able to acknowledge their dedication and hard work and celebrate our 40th year anniversary in October, National Arts and Humanities Month. Let me tell you about the PHC and some of the benchmarks in our 40-year history. From the very start, the Pennsylvania Humanities Council has been about inspiring Pennsylvanians to gather together to share a life of learning. And we've done that since 1973 in partnership with local groups, with local libraries, historical societies, and other groups to reach you locally to think about and discover something new about our history, the arts, literature, and the world around us that shapes the human experience. Now, in the beginning, we started giving grants And we did that in partnership with the National Endowment for the Humanities. But we soon learned that we wanted to do more, and we had to raise the bar because we're the Pennsylvania Humanities Council, that we wanted to expand access throughout Pennsylvania. And what we did is we created signature programs, and I'm sure that many of you know about these. Commonwealth speakers, we sent out free experts, artists, throughout Pennsylvania to talk in small community centers and also develop book discussion programs like Read About It at local libraries to explore popular fiction and nonfiction. For us, this was important to expand access, and we've done that for the last 20 years. We have reached local groups throughout Pennsylvania. And what we wanted to do was give people, put in their hands the essential tools and resources to do humanities programs on their own. And what have we accomplished? Last year alone, we presented 379 programs and events. We partnered with 213 organizations and reached 113 communities throughout the Commonwealth. And that's with a staff of 8. In all, since 1973, we have given over $8 million in grants supporting arts and culture throughout the state, and we have presented over 5,000 book talks and book groups and Commonwealth speakers throughout the Commonwealth. What a journey we have traveled. And I want to express my sincere gratitude to you, to the individuals in this room, because without you and the organizations and communities that traveled with us on this journey since 1973, we could not have done it alone. And I want, if you would please join me in clapping and expressing our gratitude for all of those individuals and groups. It's because of those individuals and groups that I can stand here today and our staff and board and point to the future and say that we are leading a network of champions that empower Pennsylvanians to think critically, grow, and engage in their communities. We believe that together, by working hand in hand with you, that we can achieve a greater good in Pennsylvania. That we can, through our new civic initiative for engagement, to bring people together that don't ordinarily join together in the same room. People who may be polarized by opinion, who may be divided and separated, rich from poor, majorities from minorities. We believe that this is essential today in this climate, to use the humanities to think critically about our most pressing issues, to overcome our differences, and to creatively solve our problems together, to not only change our lives individually, but the lives in our communities. We believe that we can use the power of ideas to open minds, use the humanities to build a better future, and I hope that you will join us in doing it for another 40 years. Thank you. Before we begin the awards presentation, I have the distinct pleasure to introduce our Master of Ceremonies for the evening, Jerry Gish. Jerry is co-anchor of WGAL TV News 8 morning show, and in 2009, you teamed up with Lori Burkholder and Joe Calhoun on News 8 Today. Jerry has also worked in Kansas City, Elmira, New York, and in Johnstown at WJAC, and in my hometown, WTAJ, Altoona. And I remembered you as soon as I saw you earlier this evening, so thank you for being here. Jerry has covered everything from Supreme Court hearings to hurricanes in his journalism career, including the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans. You've received awards, Edwin R. Murrow Award, as well as an Emmy Award. And you graduated from my alma mater, Penn State, and grew up in Lancaster. Let me introduce Jerry Gish. Thank you. Absolutely.
Lori, thank you very much. There's going to be another Altoona connection here later tonight as well. Some favorite pretzels that I had back in the day when I worked in Altoona. So we'll get to that a little bit later on. You know, I'm sitting here, and the worst thing I realized that the picture they have of me, if you look, I'm wearing the same outfit. Of course. Well, it is really an honor and a pleasure to be here tonight. I want to thank the Humanities Council for inviting me to be a part of it. It'll be my pleasure to introduce and honor the honorees later this evening as well. And WGAL is certainly proud to be a media sponsor of tonight's event. And let's kick things off now as I introduce the treasurer of the Humanities Council, Mary Garm.
Good evening, everyone. The Pennsylvania Humanities Council builds and leads a vibrant network of individuals, organizations, and communities that champions the humanities and empowers Pennsylvanians to think critically, to grow, and to engage in their communities. Libraries are an important part of that equation. The Pennsylvania Humanities Council has been working with libraries for many years, offering easily accessible public humanities programs. In 2009, in response to a movement among library professionals to prioritize teen services, the Pennsylvania Humanities Council, along with our advisors, began development of a hybrid reading and discussion program. That program, Teen Reading Lounge, is an interactive book discussion series created by the Pennsylvania Humanities Council for public libraries to encourage teens ages 12 to 18 to read and talk about literature that matters to them. The teens themselves become part of a multifaceted learning process rooted in the humanities that is connected to building real 21st century skills related to communication, collaboration, literacy, and critical thinking. Teen Reading Lounge has reached over 350 teens from diverse communities across Pennsylvania. 16 libraries have participated in the program so far. Tonight, we highlight the Pennsylvania Humanities Council's most recent collaboration with the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh, a nationally recognized leader in library services. We are pleased to have Holly McCullough and Leanne Anna of the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh with us this evening. The Pennsylvania Humanities Council brought Teen Reading Lounge to 8 libraries in Allegheny County, and the video that you're about to see is footage from that collaboration. In keeping with tonight's focus and honoring those who work to champion the value of the humanities in everyday life, it is important to note that the Pennsylvania Humanities Council could not have done this without our partners. We'd like to thank the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh, the Allegheny Intermediate Unit, who helped us evaluate the project, and the University of Pittsburgh's Western Pennsylvania Writing Project, who supplied the outside evaluators, many of whom are classroom teachers who provided valuable feedback on our learning outcomes. We are also grateful to the library staff, the facilitators, and of course, the teens for being part of a project that achieved much more than anticipated. Finally, the Pennsylvania Humanities Council would like to thank the Office of Commonwealth Libraries and the National Endowment for the Humanities for their continued generous support of this program. Alice Lubrecht, the director of the Bureau of State Library, is here with us tonight representing the Office of Commonwealth Libraries. We are grateful to funders like these who believe in the power of humanities programs like Teen Reading Lounge to help us create extraordinary experiences for the people of Pennsylvania. And now, please enjoy this inside look at the Pennsylvania Humanities Council's Teen Reading Lounge.
The Teen Reading Lounge is a fun way to go through different popular books and base activities and different learning experiences on them.
It's about teens like me interacting with each other and talking about what they love most, books.
Teen Reading Lounge is a book club on steroids. It's a book club that is enhanced by experiences and hands-on activities that are created by library staff, community members as facilitators, and the teens themselves.
Pennsylvania Humanities Council partners with libraries across the state to develop book clubs that are untraditional book clubs. It's a chance to talk about books, to have activities, but one of the key elements is creating communities through a humanities-based discussion.
Humanities is the centerpiece of the program. We talked in the first week about the word humanities, the idea that it's about understanding what it means to be human.
Outside of school component is very interesting and very different from the more formal environment in the classroom. It's also really nice to see them applying those same skills about defending their opinion and supporting their ideas just very naturally. They're getting the same kind of rich discussion.
Things like communication, social skills, problem solving, collaboration, innovation, all of these things are happening in each of the Teen Reading Lounge sessions.
The kids that are here are forming relationships with each other. Some of them go to school together but never really communicated or talked in school. But here the discussion's bringing out some of that.
With my work with Pennsylvania Humanities Council, I have learned what can come from a fantastic partnership like this. When two like-minded organizations come together with a shared mission and a goal.
These are kids that want to be here. They're excited about the program.
I normally didn't usually come to the library, but when they started having new programs like the Teen Reading Lounge, I was really interested and wanted to see what it is.
It's a lot of fun, and I hope that they do more in the future.
You should definitely come to the Teen Reading Lounge. It opened my eyes more than I've ever known before.
Boy, isn't that great to see how the Humanities Council is working with libraries statewide to introduce teenagers to literature and interactive learning as well. Really need to see that program. In addition to literature, the humanities include arts and culture, history, and music. And tonight we have a very special presentation that is a display of all of these humanities aspects. Suzanne Cloud, Wendy Simon Sinkler, and Renda Farrington, accompanied by Steve Rudolph on piano and Steve Meshi on bass, performing the Jazz Bridge Blues. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce the Jazz Bridge Project.
Feel free to start the class. Yeah.
10 years ago we started Jazz Bridge to help our music friends in need. Working every night and weekends, we always knew we could succeed. 'Cause everybody knows what Jazz Bridge swings in every heart indeed.
Performers and jazz fans join forces to give Jazz Bridge a whole new start. To find community resources to do more than promote the art. Supporting jazz and blues musicians is really what sets us apart. Oh yeah.
I came to town to find my purpose, to get into this music scene. I wanted to have jazz's focus. I searched, but then it it found me. What started as a service blossomed to our extended family. Philly jazz is strong, traditions carry on. Lee Morgan and Coltrane's melodies still linger on.
Philly Joe, Hank Volker.
Record brothers too.
Their influence is heard in what the young ones do.
Keep the legacy for every community. Jazz
Steve Rudolph and Steve Mishi on piano and bass.
Was that not great? One more quick round of applause. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. We're going to have to work things out next year. If I come back and MC this again, maybe they can help me. I can't sing them. I can't sing. None of us wants to see that. All right. Well, before we acknowledge our honorees and begin handing out awards, I'd like to invite Gary D. St. Hilaire, the president and CEO of Capital Blue Cross, our champion sponsor, to join me at the podium now to help with some of the presentations.
Yeah, I won't be needing the accompaniment. No. Thank you, Jerry. It is a pleasure to be here tonight representing the 2,000 employees of Capital Blue Cross, all who have a very strong appreciation for the good work and the programs of the Pennsylvania Humanities Council. I'm honored to have the opportunity to share the stage and shake the hands of the honorees tonight for their deserved awards. These individuals and organizations have dedicated so much of their time and resources to ensure that communities can access, experience, and benefit from the humanities. The humanities are so vital in our quest to explain what we are as a community, as a region, as a commonwealth, and as a nation. At Capital Blue Cross, we do value the humanities greatly because we know they enrich the lives by improving our quality of our life and our health. Whether through the arts, religion, music, literature, or whatever discipline you favor, the humanities have the power to calm, relax, and even heal us. That is why Capital Blue Cross supports the Pennsylvania Humanities Council and is very proud to be here as a sponsor tonight. Thank you.
The Pennsylvania Humanities Awards recognizes individuals and organizations who local, regional, or state-level work champions the public humanities. Tonight, 3 awards will be presented. The Humanities Partner Award, presented to an organization that offers humanities programs that affect the everyday lives of people in their community and inspires Pennsylvanians from all walks of life to think critically, creatively solve problems, understand and appreciate cultural difference, which enables them to become informed and engaged citizens. The Distinguished Service in the Humanities Award, presented to an individual whose work raises the social, cultural, or historic consciousness of people throughout the Commonwealth. And tonight, we have 2 distinguished honorees for this award. And the Champion of the Humanities Award, which recognizes an individual, business, organization, or foundation for exemplary service in helping to advance the humanities in Pennsylvania. The Champion of the Humanities Award recipient has made a significant contribution to the public understanding of the role that humanities play in transforming lives and strengthening our communities. And our first award this evening goes to the amazing performers you heard from just a few moments ago. The Jazz Bridge Project is a nonprofit presenter and arts services organization dedicated to assisting professional Greater Philadelphia metro area jazz and blues musicians and vocalists in times of crisis. Founded by Suzanne Cloud and Wendy Simon Sinkler in 2004, Jazz Bridge assists those coping with emergencies while building awareness of the local jazz sound. Let's take a look at their arts and humanities work. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2013 Humanities Partner Award honoree, Jazz Bridge.
Sherry said we have 2 minutes, and that's exactly how I timed it. So I'd really like to thank the Pennsylvania Humanities Council for this award, and many, many people made this award possible. The Jazz Bridge Board, President Mike Boone, where are you, Mike? There he is. Secretary Jason Fifield, also Jim Miller, Treasurer Wendy Simon, and co-founder. Our newest member of the board is Renda Fearington, who you just heard singing beautifully just then. Jazz Bridge was conceived as an organization that supports the artist as well as the art. No separation. Every need is unique, whether it's dental care for a broken tooth, medical care for a broken body, or counseling for a broken soul. Artists need a support system in order to continue to create the art we love and contribute to the stories that make us human. Finally, I have a request since I have a podium. I hope that Pennsylvania expands the Medicaid program. If Pennsylvania does not, our artists and others will continue to suffer needlessly. Thank you again for this wonderful award. Now, I'd like you to hear from Wendy.
When we created Jazz Bridge, we really wanted it to be a bridge, a communication between the music makers and the music lovers, and also a resource for all the other jazz organizations in the area. Their focus is mainly about the art. However, what really separates us, as Suzanne said, is that we are really focused on the artist. And in being focused on the artist, we're producing so much art, more than we ever thought that we could. We provide venues for them to perform. We have 40 concerts that we produce in a season in 5 different venues throughout the Delaware Valley, which means we're giving 160 musicians a paying gig for each season. And we're introducing jazz to many people in the diverse communities that might not have heard it at a very affordable price. We also, one of the pictures that you saw in the video was a roundtable discussion that we produced in partnership with WRTI and Temple University, because we valued the stories of the musicians, not just the music, but their background and what their experience is. And we had musicians there, older musicians, that were really sharing stories about the life in the 40s, 50s, and 60s in the greater Philadelphia area with music, and everything is documented. As part of the Philadelphia International Festival of the Arts, we expanded our community to include the theater and dance audiences to Suzanne's multimedia musical play about Dizzy Gillespie that we had at the Society Hill Playhouse this spring. So all these performances are documented because we're very aware of the history, the rich history of Pennsylvania and the Delaware Valley, and we feel that it's important to document it. We believe in saving the musicians, and it'll save the music, and we believe in supporting the artists and the arts and archiving it so that we can provide a good legacy for our future generations. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hey, Wendy.
Our next awards category is the Distinguished Service in the Humanities. In this category, we have two outstanding honorees this evening. Our first honoree is known as a catalytic agent, animator, and facilitator of cultural and heritage programs. For the past 40 years, Lenwood Sloan has provided inspiration, leadership, and technical assistance both in the public and private sector. Mr. Sloan has served as Pennsylvania's interim film commissioner. For 8 years, he served as director of Pennsylvania's Cultural and Heritage Tourism Program. In that capacity, he developed and administered Pennsylvania's Festival Network, Artisans Trails, Civil War Trail, Quest for Freedom, Grand Review Project, Live and Learn Program, and the Pennsylvania Homecoming Initiative. Let's take a look now at Mr. Sloan's heritage, culture, and humanities work. And accepting for Lenwood Sloan, his sister, Mrs. Joanne Haynes.
Good evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to ask my sister, who's here from Virginia, to come stand, and my brother, if they'll just come stand with me. And while they're coming, if you know Linwood, I do not have his rich baritone voice, but I'll do my best. I had initially thought that I would come and tell you some wonderful things about Linwood because he's an exceptional human being. But you know him, hopefully, and you know that. But Linwood, being the organizer that he is, has prepared a written word for me to deliver from him. So being the obedient younger sister, I think it's more appropriate to read Linwood's words. He starts out, Linwood the artist, says, "A message from somewhere in the galaxy." He says, "Good evening and greetings from Sitka, Alaska. This weekend, we moved my 92-year-old mom to Harrisburg with us. Linwood worked feverishly to make that move happen and then left the next day at 7:25 in the morning to fly to Alaska. He says, those who know me are aware of my passion as a Trekkie. I've often wished for 3 essential tools: the communicator, which if you know Linwood he is, the transporter, and the holodeck. When he received Lori's message on his handheld device informing him of the award, he wished that he could beam down and be with each of you, but he had already made a commitment to be in Alaska. So here's what he says. This is an artiste in Linwood. He says, imagine a journeyman dreamer born in Pittsburgh's Homewood area, a student of life, trained at Westinghouse High School, and traveling around the world across time to build a culture of heritage and a plan for the Alaska State Arts Council. That's what he's doing now. Throughout my career, these are the words of Linwood, I've built a glossary to translate, engage, and exchange my experiences. That glossary includes definitions of race, culture, heritage, family, community, and identity. Race is what we're born into. My family has instilled in me a fierce and brilliant race pride. And if you know Linwood, you know that's so true. Culture is what we build together. Our foodways, folkways, Moore's language, music, art, dreams, and experiences. Those of you around this room have been the chief architects in our collaboration to nurture our culture. We just heard some of that. Thank you very much. That was awesome. Heritage is what we agree to remember, exalt, and lift up for commemoration. I hope I have been a good steward of our common memories and common treasures. And this is what is Linwood's core. Family is that incredible gift that God gives us from the womb. Also those who gather together to reconstitute the circle of life. Several members of the Pittsburgh family in which I was raised sit this evening with the family I have gathered here in Harrisburg to nourish and sustain me. And that is our family, and you are his family. Community is both tangible and intangible, both geographic and aesthetic. While I belong to a world community of artists, scholars, and humanists, I am sustained by many of the sons and daughters of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Identity is that particular relationship to all that is above. My identity is to be a change agent, and he is. A catalyst battling that which separates and divides us, that confuses our ability to cooperate and collaborate. And your confirmation of that identity is exemplified in this award tonight. So I thank Lori, the Pittsburgh Historical Commission, and especially my brother in spirit, the immortal Joe Kelly, for their support across the last decade. Joe and Lori have provided me an oasis for a safe house for ideas, visions, and possibilities. In this spirit of possibility, and in the honor of Joe and his legacy, I accept this award. And those are the words of Linwood. And let me just end on a personal note to say, when you go out this evening, if you look up in the sky, a star not only illuminates itself, but it illuminates the whole sky. And I can tell you, as his baby sister, as his older sister, as his partner and friend, as a family member, and from my 92-year-old mom, Linwood illuminates the sky of everyone he meets. You take a piece of him with you because he is unforgettable. Thank you for this award for my brother and my friend, Linwood Sloan.
Our next Distinguished Service in the Humanities Award honoree is no stranger to the arts and humanities communities. As one of only 2 people in Pennsylvania to chair both the Governor's Council of the Arts and the Pennsylvania Humanities Council, Ann Benzel has a long, impressive, and diverse history of community service. Mrs. Benzel is well known for her work on the restoration of the historic Mishler Theater, and she is president of Benzel's Pretzel Bakery Incorporated, a 4th-generation family business in operation since 1911. I mentioned earlier, I'm not just saying this, I ate a lot of Benzel's pretzels in my 4 years in Altoona, and that is the truth. They're excellent. She currently serves on the boards of the Southern Alleghenies Museum of Art, Blair County Arts Foundation, Citizens for the Arts, UPMC Altoona Health System, UPMC Altoona Health System Foundation for Life, American Cancer Society, Volunteer Leadership Council, and Mount Aloysius College. Let's take a look now at Ms. Benzel's arts and humanities work. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Ann Benzel.
Thank you. For those kind words, the pretzels will be delivered next week. I'm honored to be here and honored to receive this award. As many of you know, I have a long-standing history with the PHC, serving as a board member and as chair. My strong belief in that organization makes this award very, very special to me. Last week, I had the privilege of serving as MC at an event in Altoona. It was really a takeoff on the Governor's Awards for the Arts called the Blair County Arts Hall of Fame. And incidentally, Governor's Awards is coming up. I'm putting a plug in for you, Heather, but hope to see you all there. One of the inductees shared with the audience how he felt about the award, and that was that, why am I receiving an award or recognition for merely doing what I love? And that's how I feel tonight. Literature, history, the arts, they're my passion. It's what the humanities do, and it's very hard to accept an award for doing it. It's very much a part of me, and I hope a part of you. As president of a fourth-generation family business that's more than 100 years old, I understand the power of the humanities to help define us as a people. By preserving the past, we can examine the lives and work of those who came before us. Through their experiences and challenges, we can illuminate the possibilities for the future. By celebrating our cultural heritage and the arts, we bring communities together, share common beliefs, and gain an understanding and appreciation of our differences. I believe in lifelong learning, and I believe in the mission of the Humanities Council. It's more vital than ever. I am proud to have played a role in that mission. I offer my heartfelt congratulations to all of tonight's honorees, and I accept and dedicate this award to the staff and board of PHC, who continue to inspire me with their courage, imagination, and hard work. Thank you.
And our final honoree this evening really doesn't need an introduction. She is known statewide as Pennsylvania's First Lady. She is also a champion of the arts and humanities. First Lady Susan Corbett has a diverse and impressive background in museum, library, and arts work. She is passionate about Pennsylvania culture and history. First Lady Corbett is the chair of the Pennsylvania Council on the Arts, a trustee of Carnegie Museums of Pittsburgh, an ex officio member of the Philadelphia Museum of Art Board of Trustees, and a commissioner of the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission. Let's take a look now at Mrs. Corbett's arts and humanities work. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2013 Champion of the Humanities honoree, Pennsylvania First Lady Susan Corbett.
Thank you. I am deeply honored to receive this award from the Pennsylvania Humanities Council, and I want to thank my friends who showed up, many of them surprising me by being here. It's especially exciting for me to receive this recognition as we all celebrate National Arts and Humanities Month. I consider myself fortunate to have been raised in a family that valued arts and culture, and I've had a career that has fed my passion for the arts, for history, and for the humanities. The position of First Lady has given me opportunities that I could never have imagined, and when I look back on my career, I believe that my experience at Gettysburg will be the accomplishment of which I am most proud, because the impact that that work will have on generations of visitors. And I believe my coworkers will feel the same. But my time as director of Pittsburgh Arts and Lectures was an English major or a reader's dream job. I had the opportunity to interact with many of America's most important writers, corresponding with them, chauffeuring them, taking them to dinner, introducing them to an audience, and then listening from the wings of the stage. I learned the details of the Watergate scandal from Ben Bradley and Bob Woodward, the pain of prejudice from John Edgar Wideman, Alice Walker, David Levitt, and Richard Rodriguez, the black humor of despair of Kurt Vonnegut, the eloquence of the human spirit from Arthur Miller and August Wilson, the horror of the horror of the Holocaust by Elie Wiesel, and the passion for gender equality from Gloria Steinem, the mystery of the natural world from Edward O. Wilson. I had over 100 enlightening and memorable evenings courtesy of the lecture series, but I'd like to tell you about my most memorable encounter. Studs Terkel, son of an immigrant Russian Jewish tailor and his wife, was a historian, actor, Chicago-based radio broadcaster, and a Pulitzer Prize-winning author. He's credited with creating and defining the oral history genre, and his subjects were often common people. When we presented him on our series, he was 92 years old. He died in 2008 at 96 years old. I was intrigued by his work, and I invited him to be a speaker. He declined because he was busy writing. But then he relented. He was traveling to the East Coast to interview someone for his newest book, and if I could coordinate his appearance with his travel schedule, and if I could arrange a couple more interviews for him in Pittsburgh, he'd make the trip. He was writing a book about people who were in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, still working, still doing important things. I went to my husband for ideas, and we found two perfect subjects for Mr. Terkel: the newly retired mayor of Pittsburgh, Sophie Masloff, and America's longest-serving homicide detective, Charlie Lenz. Mr. Terkel was delighted and accepted. When I picked him up at the airport, I recognized Stud's face from a book jacket. His physical appearance was at once comical and disarming. He was an unassuming little man with thinning hair and a Roman nose. His trademark look was bright red socks and a red and white checkered shirt, which he wore that day with rumpled trousers and a tweed jacket. And he had a plaid wool hat balanced on the top of his head. I would learn that he sat on his hat when he was in a restaurant because he was afraid he'd forget it. And then he beat it against his leg to restore its shape and again balanced it on the top of his head when he left the building. Throughout our visit, he chuckled frequently and winked at me. I had the rare treat of watching Mr. Terkel conduct his Pittsburgh interviews. He turned on a tape recorder, asked a question or two, and then listened. Occasionally, he'd give a nod, a little smile to encourage the story, and I marveled as his subjects revealed themselves to him. That evening at Carnegie Music Hall, at a patron reception, He greeted the doorman with the same enthusiasm as meeting the CEO of a large corporation. And he was brilliant on stage, entertaining and challenging the audience. The book he was writing was published the next year. It's a New York Times bestseller entitled Coming of Age, the story of our century by the people who lived it. Here is this book. I sent copies to Detective Lenz and Mayor Maslow. They were thrilled. Sophie told everyone that she was interviewed for a book by Studs Lonigan. I was touched when I read the book's acknowledgments and apologies. The first sentence reads, "As usual, a salute to my scouts, friends, acquaintances, and passing strangers who were generous with tips and telltale anecdotes. Among them, in alphabetical order, are," and there on the fourth line is Susan Corbett. Wasn't that just like Mr. Turkle, to recognize others' contributions, no matter how small? Studs Terkel was an advocate for social justice, and his life's work was the epitome of tolerance, respect, and humanity. In a world where opinion is formed by soundbite, or an internet blog, or 140 characters and a hashtag, I want to thank the Pennsylvania Humanities Council for its efforts to inspire learning, to think critically, and to empathize with people of different backgrounds and beliefs. And I thank the Council for honoring me with this award, but I am just a student of the humanities. Now, Studs Terkel, he was a champion, and I will accept this award in his memory. Thank you.
What an outstanding group of honorees that we had this evening. One more round of applause, please. Thank you. Congratulations. Well, once again, I would like to thank the Humanities Council for inviting me to be here tonight. It really was an honor and a pleasure. Thank all of you for coming out this evening as well. And if I could, I'd like to congratulate the Pennsylvania Humanities Council on 40 years of advancing the public humanities here in Pennsylvania. And now for some closing remarks, I'd like to invite Lori to come back up.
Wow, what a moving evening this has been, of memories, of stories, of the human experience. And I thank you all for joining us tonight as we celebrate our 40th year anniversary. On behalf of the PHC, I want to congratulate all of our award honorees and thank you for all that you do to support, present, and advocate for the humanities. Thank you. And I have to thank so many others that helped make this a reality tonight. And those include our sponsors, especially Capital Blue Cross, PCN TV, who is here taping this celebration and will be airing the ceremony tomorrow night. Cabinet and elected leaders, our partners and guests, our vendors, staff of the Department of General Services, thank you, and facilities management, as well as the Dauphin County Technical School students. They created all of the floral arrangements here. And I can't forget about our incredible board and staff who are here tonight. Let me recognize you and thank you for your support. And I have to specially thank my staff, Sherry Hicks, Alex McDowell, Kelly McNamara, and Donna Shirley, who've worked so hard to make this event tonight such a true anniversary event. Please join me. Thank you. And I'd like to add a special thank you to my Altoona friend, MC Jerry Gish. We have a gift for you as true appreciation for what you've done tonight. to help us MC this event. No pretzels. The pretzels are coming, and Anne's going to make sure that they are. So thank you, each and every one of you. Please, let's get together and keep the conversation going. Let's network and enjoy the evening. Thank you.